Hi, and welcome everyone to our On the Table information session. My name is Ashley Collins. I'm the Digital Marketing Manager for the Community Foundation for Southeast Michigan. So I want to thank you guys all for coming tonight. If you look at the top of your screen, you should have a little chat bubble. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a question in there and I'll be able to see it on my side. Everyone's on mute right now, and if someone else comes in, it will remain muted as well. I can open it up at the end for some questions with the mic. Just let me know if you would like to say something by adding it in the chat section. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. All right. For tonight's agenda, we're going to cover basically what is on the table itself. We're going to go over what On the Table hosting is. We're going to talk about what happens after October 4th. We'll go through a few frequently asked questions that we get, and then I'll kind of go over some tips and best practices for your On the Table conversation. So first and foremost, what is On the Table? So On the Table is one day of community conversations happening on October 4th. It's based on the idea that sitting down with people around us and having face-to-face conversations, especially at this moment in time, is so important. And that taking a moment together to pause for civic reflection is a powerful thing to be a part of. On the Table looks like this. On October 4th, across the region, small groups of people will sit down over food to talk about what we can do to make our communities places where youth can grow and thrive. Community here is loosely defined. It can be a block, it can be a neighborhood, it can be a city, a workplace, a school, you name it. So On the Table conversations can happen anywhere in the 7-county region and can involve anyone. We imagine every conversation will look different. Some will be hosted as adults, by adults. Others will be hosted by youth. Some will have all youth participants, and some will have adult participants and youth participants, and a mix of both. So if you have an idea to make your community a better place, then On the Table is for you. So right now, the Community Foundation, we're inviting as many people as possible to serve as On the Table hosts. Anyone can be a host, whether you're an individual or an organization. Hosting a conversation is easy. Anyone can do it. You don't have to have any experience facilitating conversations. Hosts can decide where their conversations will take place. It could be your home, it can be in a coffee shop, it can be in a church basement. It's totally up to you. When you can also decide when your conversations will take place on October 4th. That could be before breakfast, it can be breakfast, it can be lunch, it can be coffee time, it can be dinner, any time on October 4th. You can also decide what food to serve, or if you're even going to serve food. Some people are having a potluck dinner or a potluck breakfast, or just meeting at a coffee shop and ordering your own food and beverages. And the hosts also get to decide who to invite. It can be your friends, it can be your neighbors, it can be your colleagues, anyone you feel would make a good conversation on October 4th. To help you with these conversations, we've created a variety of resources to support our hosts in order to ensure that everyone's On the Table conversation is a success. On our website, there are toolkits that walk you through organizing an On the Table conversation. They provide suggested discussion questions and share tips for how to make a successful discussion. There are toolkits for both adult and youth hosts, and both are available in multiple languages. The resources are, like I said, available under the Resources tab on our website. So basically, you sign up to host, then you decide where and when to hold your conversation. you invite participants, and then you figure out what food to serve, or if you're even going to serve food. The day comes, October 4th, and you host your conversation. During and after the conversation, we encourage you and your participants to share interesting ideas and solutions that come up during your discussion on social media using the hashtag MIOTT, and I'll show you some more the hashtag closer to the end. Because we're particularly interested in amplifying the voices of young people, the other hashtag we're encouraging for people under the age of 18 is hashtag Let's Talk MI. Again, I'll show you those in a little bit. So you've invited people over, you've started having your conversation, and then what happens? So after your conversation, we ask the hosts and the participants to report back. So after your conversation ends, two things happen. First, please encourage your guests to fill out the official On the Table survey. Each conversation will have a sign-in sheet. If participants share their email addresses on your sign-in sheet, they'll get an email the next morning with a link to the survey to fill out online. They can also access a survey link on our website as well. If your guests prefer to fill out a paper version of the survey, you can download and print these from our website or connect with us, and we will get you copies to distribute at your conversation. It's important to note that there are two different surveys, one for participants under the age of 18 and one for participants 18 and older. So second, after you've encouraged people to take the survey, you will have a short host reflection form where you can share how your experience was, as well as any great ideas that came up during your discussions. So we're trying to make it really easy. You can just snap a photo of your reflection form and your sign-in sheet and text or email them back to us. It's critical that we get these right after your conversation ends so that we can make sure we get the survey emailed to your participants right away. Then what? So you've got the email addresses and your reflection forms turned in, and the email with the survey has gone out. So we'll share what came out of the conversations and what we've learned with a report. We're working with researchers at the University of Chicago to collect and analyze the survey responses, and then we'll publish a public report that anyone can access and use. Our hope is that the information in this report will encourage people and entities across Southeast Michigan to consider young people when making decisions, and will help inform the plans and decisions that they make. Okay, so before I open it up for questions, I want to run through a few frequently asked questions. First, has On the Table been done before? Not in Michigan. The program was started in Chicago in 2012 and has been so popular there, it has started spreading to other places. This year, we, as a Community Foundation for Southeast Michigan, are part of a group of 8 community foundations across the country piloting On the Table in other cities and regions, and this is all supported by the Knight Foundation. Why focus the conversations on youth? The Community Foundation has a 25-year history of supporting work in the youth development and youth leadership spaces, and with On the Table, we saw the opportunity to bring people together to talk about young people and what they need to succeed. Ultimately, we believe that any work to make our communities better places for young people to grow and thrive actually makes our community better places for all of us. We've gotten the question that sometimes people say they don't have children or they don't work with youth-focused organizations, and can they still be On the Table hosts? Absolutely. Making this region a better place for the next generation takes all of us. Whether or not you are a young person, a parent, or if you work directly with youth, we all have a role to play to make our communities stronger. So you're ready to host. How many people should you invite? We recommend 8 to 12. We feel big enough to get a range of perspectives, but small enough to ensure that everyone has a chance to share and engage in the conversation. If you want to invite more than 12 people, we recommend splitting your participants into multiple groups and just having multiple conversations. In the toolkits, we provide discussion questions. Do you have to use them? The answer is no, not at all. We understand that everyone will have a different comfort level hosting conversations, and that some people want and will use the questions to structure their conversations. So please use the discussion questions if they're helpful to you, but feel free to adapt them and come up with your own. Another question we get pretty frequently is, can I have my conversation on a different day rather than October 4th? Because sometimes block clubs, organizations, youth groups, things like that will already be meeting on a different day close to October 4th. So yes, absolutely. Just let us know so we can work with you to ensure your participants get the surveys on time. All right, those are the frequently asked questions. If you have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat box over here. So some tips and best practices for hosting the table. Okay, when it's time to start, first, of course, introduce yourself and talk about why you are having an on-the-table conversation, why you feel this is important. Then invite your guests to introduce themselves to each other. And then you can use the conversation prompts in the host toolkits to get the conversation going. Please make sure that you encourage everyone to participate and let everyone be able to be a part of the discussion. Invite your guests to expand on ideas. And again, share your photos, videos, and stories with hashtag MIOTT. Here's our social media. Again, the hashtag is MIOTT. For youth under 18, we're asking them to also use hashtag Let's Talk MI. You can follow us on Twitter at cfsem.org. And on our website, it's onthetable.cfsem.org. And you can give us shoot us an email at onthetable@cfsem.org. At any time during the day, we'll be manning the email and the social media, so we'll be watching for everyone.